Okay, just yeah, just a quick recap of things in order to just keep up with it. So we are looking into self-efficacy, and we have two options, option A and option B. And we know that most of the people will attempt option A, which is pretty easier for them and which can also give some benefits. So a self-efficacy theory basically tells that people will generally attempt things that they feel that they can accomplish easily rather than trying something which they might fail. But in contrast, we do have people who have strong self-efficacy, and they try to take more risks and try to achieve challenging goals. Okay, right? Now, in the last class, we saw that there were many factors that contributed to self-efficacy. Especially, we saw the 4 factors which were contributing to this. Can you tell me what are the 4 factors? Can you recall any 1 or 2 factors at least? Yeah.
Practical experience.
Very good. Practical experience is one. Great.
Verbal persuasion.
Verbal persuasion. Great.
And physiological arousal and
Yeah. Physiological arousal and
vicarious experience.
okay. Right. That's great. Right. So perceiving of efficacy. Right. That is, I feel I can do it, and they perceive that efficacy because of the 4 factors. So they are the personal experiences. We will call them as mastery experience. The second factor is vicarious experience, that is experience of others. Third is verbal persuasion. And the last one is somatic or emotional state or physiological arousal. All right, that's primarily emotional state. So, what is a mastery motivation? All right, if that's what we are going to see now. Now, mastery experiences primarily happen when we are attempting something and we are successful in that. Now, if we have attempted it previously and we are successful in that, then there are high chances that we will think of attempting the same activity again if we require. Okay, right? So what they basically say is, if you are getting skilled at something, then probably you will try to attempt that more commonly. Okay, right? Now, can you tell me what factor you think is very important for mastering something, a skill or a task?
Practice, sir.
Yeah,
Practical experience.
Practice.
yes, right. You're very much right that it's practice. Okay, right. So the major factor that brings in a mastery is practice. Since we are talking about a behavior, it might be a pre-practice about that, or yes, in a similar situation. Okay, right. So now there's a question here. So you need to answer that, the fill up the blanks. Okay, right. I'll give you the option and then you need to fill up the blanks. So there are 4 activities, right? Now a person is there and he is going to, he has newly learned a particular skill. Okay, right? All right. Of the 4, one thing, right? Now, this particular skill, right, has helped him to gain more self-efficacy in doing another one. Okay, so it's he's more likely to attempt riding a motorbike if he has newly learned this particular skill. So can you tell me what would you fill in the blanks?
Ride a cycle.
Okay, right. That's great. So if a person who has developed a skill of riding a cycle, then there are more chances that he will attempt riding a motorbike more confidently, right? So his self-efficacy towards that will be great. Rather, if he has learned the cycling, he might, if you are asking him to play a guitar suddenly in a competition or something, he might find it very difficult, very uncomfortable at that particular point of time. All right. So when a mastery experience is going to help them, it needn't be the same thing. It might be something similar to that. Okay, that might help him in attempting more. Right? Are you clear with what is a mastery experience?
Yes, sir.
All right, these are his personal experiences, prior experiences. Okay, right. So now we will move on to the next one, which is vicarious experience. So we said that a vicarious experience is seeing someone else, and more importantly, observation of the success or failure of others who are similar to oneself. Okay, all right. So if you see someone else, say your classmates, doing some specific skill, and they are very successful in doing it, then you're more likely to develop a self-efficacy towards those particular tasks. Okay. The most important criteria here is the person should be more similar to yourself, right? So if you see, say for example, Usain Bolt running 100-meter dash, right? And then you might not think that, okay, tomorrow I'll run a 100-meter dash. Okay. But if you see your own classmate who is very similar to you and you feel that they might not be that capable of doing it, but they do it, then you might also try attempting it. Okay. So that is the experience you gain by looking at a person who is similar to you doing a particular skill. Okay. If they succeed, we will have more self-efficacy. But if they fail in doing that, our self-efficacy will also start reducing with that. Okay. All right. So that's what you mean by vicarious experience. Now we'll move on to the next one, which is verbal persuasion. Right. Now, a verbal persuasion, all right, is basically when people who are close by to us or who are very significant to us, right, they believe in ourselves and they tell that, yes, it is possible that you can achieve a mastery of a task, right? If people surrounding us encourage us and they believe, rather than encouragement, if they believe that we can achieve that, right, then we are more likely to develop a self-efficacy for that. Okay, right? So in your young age, you might have experienced a lot of times that you try something and you're not very comfortable in doing it, but then either your friend or your father or your mother tells that you should try it, and we hope that you will be improving in that, right? So after that, you might try it one more time, right? So that is verbal persuasion. Okay, right? Now let's have one simple example, right? So you're planning to invest money in a mutual fund or stocks. Okay, I hope all of you know, right? Now you have a chance of success of tripling your money. Okay, right? Or it can also happen that the invested money can also be completely wiped off. Okay, right? So now your close friend is advising you not to invest in a particular stock. But you go ahead and try investing it, right? But in the past 4 attempts, you have actually not got much money out of it, and it has actually reduced. You have lost money. Okay, right. Now at another one, all right, a close friend tells you that you have capacity to earn if you pick the right stocks, right? You are trying to invest and you succeed in few attempts, right? So these are two different scenarios, right? Now, you can see scenario 1 and scenario 2. Right? Now, at this particular point of time, all right, the person who was in situation 2 or the person who was in situation 1, right? If there is a new stock which is coming, all right, it's a foreign startup company, and they are saying that if you you're thinking of investing about 1 lakh of money into that, right? So in which situation? In situation 1, you would be feeling more belief that you can really earn a huge amount of money, or in situation 2? When would you believe that you have a high chances of really getting a lot of money from it?
Situation 2.
All right. So in a situation 2, what happens is not only that we have invested or succeeded, but the other people have also said that if you are doing it, then you're more likely to be there. Okay, right? And that friend might be a person who is already working in a stock market or something. Okay, right? Clear? So then you're more likely to listen to them, okay, in the future. And you're more likely to have a higher self-efficacy if such people are around you. Right? So that's called as verbal persuasion. Right? And the last factor is somatic and emotional states. Now, it's the physical and emotional state that occurs when someone thinks about doing something. All right? Which can provide, this can in fact provide clues as to the likelihood of that person succeeding or failing in that particular thing. Okay, right? So these states can be when you're going to attempt a particular thing, a new thing, you might feel a stress, anxiety, fear, or worry. Okay, right? Now, I'm just going to ask you a question, and I'm going to select a person from the first year, and they are going to tell me, right, at least they are going to recall and tell me what we have covered in the previous classes. Okay, right? Clear? Now, I'm going to select a person who is whose name is going to start with A. Okay, right? So, right? So, right? So, yeah, right? So, can you tell me amongst the whole group, right, what would have happened to Anam and Arya?
Anxiety.
Okay, right? Anam, Arya, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. So, did you feel something, or you were as cool as before?
So anxiety.
A bit of, right? That came, right? So, so this is what happens when we have to do something, when you have to attend something, right? Clear? And you can see in our group, right, the amongst the 4 people who are there, senior clinicians, senior teachers, senior batch students, junior batch students, who are likely to ask and or answer more questions. Yeah.
Seniors.
Senior clinician, sir.
Okay, right. You're very clear, senior clinicians. The problem is solved, right? But then they are more likely to attempt it. They are more self-efficacy in asking a question or in answering a question as compared to the junior batch, right, who are new, right? So we can say that they are having a bit more self-efficacy. Of course, it's not the rule. Some people in junior batch also do ask questions, that we know, right? But the senior clinician teachers are more likely, because they feel they are thinking how it's going to help, and they are not much worried about success or failure. So I consistently see that Subbu sir, Vipinath, right, and Silvasa, and everyone are interacting more into this. Okay, right, clear? It's basically when you're attempting, right, you get this kind of fear, right, anxiety, because so many people are there. If I ask question, would it be a right question? Or if I try to answer, will I be right in answering? Right. So all these things starts going in your mind. Now the same thing starts also happening when you're attempting a new task, right? And your self-efficacy for doing that particular thing can be influenced. Okay, right? So we'll be trying to do one simple activity before going up, right? So now, did all of you understand the 4 components which can influence self-efficacy?
Yes,
Do you
sir.
have any questions at this current point of time? Okay, I hope you would have understood these 4 components, right? So we have mastery experience, we have vicarious experiences, we have verbal persuasion, someone supporting us and doing it, and a somatic or emotional state, right? And all these factors can influence it, right? So now a quick question before going on to the activity is, can you tell me when will our self-efficacy increase, keeping these 4 factors?
Sir, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I'm asking with relation to the 4 factors, right? When will your self-efficacy increase? Or when will you have more self-efficacy? If your mastery experiences are more, if your vicarious experiences are more, if your verbal persuasion, you have more people to verbally persuade you, and lastly, if your emotional states are less, that is, you have less stress, anxiety, fear, worry, then we are more likely to have better self-efficacy about it, right? Now, this is what your self-efficacy theory tells. Okay, are you all clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. So now we will go on to activity. Right? Now you're seeing a patient, okay, with diabetes mellitus. He comes to you with bodily pain, and he's feeling tired in the evening, and he sleeps off daily early, but wakes up late in the morning. Okay, right. Now, he's regularly taking medicines for diabetes, but he does not monitor his diabetes levels. Now, he has come out with body pain. That's his major problem, and he wants you to help him out with. Okay. So, what I want you to do is, number one, I want you to list down what are all the positive and negative behaviors you see in him. Okay. Number two, right? What's the major outcome the patient wants? Okay, right. Number three, what will be your exercise program based on ACSM guideline that you'll be providing to him? And how will you improve his self-efficacy to do exercise based on the self-efficacy theory? You need to come out with specific recommendation that this is what we will try to do. Okay, right. So I want you to do this. Okay. Now, what I'll do is we will take a 5 minutes break, and I'm going to divide you into small rooms. Okay, right? So approximately there are 18 participants. So we will be going into, say, um, 4 rooms. Okay, right? Now you can interact amongst each other. It might be slightly easier to interact rather than interacting in the whole group. And you need to get answers for these questions. Okay, right? So now it's 9:36. So we will take approximately 5 to 10 minutes, and 9:42, 43. I will again come back. Okay. So yeah, I'm now divided you into different rooms. Okay, right? So do you see any change in yours?
No, sir.
Okay, I think okay. I put you in 4 rooms. Okay, you can join. All of you can join in the respective rooms. Okay. Selva sir, you have not joined, sir.
So I
Gina?
didn't get that. It just came and disappeared. Sir.
Okay,
Message.
I think it will be
So I'm
there.
waiting for.
Okay.
Okay, I think I'm in the group, sir, already.
No, I have
Gina.
divided it. You need to click on that, I think. Gina, you have not joined the room.
Okay, so
Okay. So all the others have joined the room. I'll just assign to.
Hello.
Sir,
Sir, Vasanthan sir. Sir, question, we can't able to see the question, sir. Sir, can you screen share the
Are you able to hear my voice?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So, so I hope you'll be ready with the answer. So we will just ask one question to each group, right? So I have opened the room, so I'm not sure about it. So I think we will start with room number 1. I think Vipinath sir was there in room number 1, along with Vipinath sir. You can just tell me your group members, and then you can just tell us the answer to the first question. I'll just share the screen for you. Yeah, Vipin sir. Can you?
So the outcomes, the first one, the outcomes the patient wants is pain relief.
Yeah, 1 second, just all the others can mute yourself. So only Vipin sir will be speaking.
So first one is the pain relief, and the second one, maybe he needs more energy, like throughout the day. That is, till
Okay,
evening.
requires more energy. Okay.
And maybe he wants to wake up early also.
Okay.
This is what I feel the 3 outcomes he might be.
The outcomes that he wants it.
Yes.
How long do you think he wants this? Is it going to be for a few days or a few months or?
So it should be like, to like permanently maybe.
Permanently, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what he wants, right?
Yes.
Okay, right. Okay, thank you, sir. Now to room 2. Who was there in room 2?
Sir, it was myself, Selva sir, Dharmita, and Shreya.
Okay, right. So you can, from your group, one person can tell, right? What is, can you identify and define the positive and negative health behaviors?
Yeah. So the positive behaviors are like is on regular medication and is also wakes up. Wakes up late. So is also going to sleep early. That maybe we can consider. It's
As
a
a
bit
positive
tricky.
health behavior.
Yeah, but but only the medication is taking regularly. That is a positive behavior.
Yes, yes.
But the negative behavior is not monitoring.
Yeah,
So
that's one negative behavior.
Yeah.
What other negative behaviors do you think is
Yes,
having?
early. That's what, going to bed early, and then the waking up late. Waking up late is the negative behavior.
Okay. Is there any other behavior which is hidden inside, which you can just guess, which
Is
might be?
lazy, or maybe.
Okay, that's that cannot be completely told.
Sir, his
No,
desire.
ideally it is for a long time he wants to be in bed. Going to bed early but getting up late.
Okay, he wants or
Also,
he's not able to be not sure about it. Okay,
okay.
right.
And
If there is okay, anyone have you identified there is something which is hidden in there, which he needs, which is very much important?
Yeah,
Sir, he
neuropathy.
wants to get help.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. He wants,
He is
like,
seeking
paying
for help.
Okay, he's seeking help, right? Yeah, but what is the most essential behavior that if he has, he will come out of these, but which he might not be having?
That's what he's not
Activity.
having a time to do exercise.
Very good, very good. So that's the key thing, right? He might not because he's feeling tired in the evening, sleeps off daily early, wakes up late in the morning, and then he's into pain. So if he's really getting on with his exercises, then these problems would not be there. So that's a hidden behavior which is not there. Okay. Yeah. So that's great. Right? So third group, who is that? And can you just tell in what will be the exercise program based on the guidelines?
So third group, me, Anam, Feroz, Prishti, Riddhi ma'am, and Gloria ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah. So, what will be the exercise program based on ACMS guideline? That
Yeah.
from moderate intensity aerobic exercise we will plan for 30 minutes for 5 days per week.
Per week. Right. And at what intensity?
So,
Moderate.
Yeah, moderate.
moderate.
So can you just tell me what's a moderate?
Sir, brisk walking and probably a mild movement activity.
Okay, moderate intensity is we define the intensity based on two things. One is our HR max, right? The other one is our Boggs rating scale. So if you are finding it difficult to talk, then that's a moderate level exercise. Okay, right? So when you're walking, you find it slightly difficult to communicate. That would be the intensity which needs to be there, right? So now we know that he's having a certain negative behaviors. So some behaviors are primary, some behaviors are secondary to it. And so we want to change everything, but here we may want to first make him do an exercise. That could be a good starting point. Okay, right? And the exercise program is there. Now we are through with what he actually has to do if he has to come out of his bodily pain and the other problems he is having, right? So now, once this is there, the most important question is, right, whether he has a self-efficacy or not. We need to find out what if we find that he is not having. So what will be the intervention? So the fourth group can attend this, and all the other groups can pitch in, and you can tell us what you think would be the treatment we can give, so that he will continue doing the exercise regularly and he will change and bring in a positive health behavior. Yeah. Fourth group.
Sir, it's me, Subramanian sir, Gina, and Musa.
Yeah, please.
So based on self-efficacy, the first one will be like a practical experience of him. So creating, teaching him how to adapt with the exercises in his on a daily basis, in his according to his timing schedule, how he can adapt and how he can bring that to his practice.
Okay, so you're telling him, teaching him the exercise is the first one you would give, right? And under which category you would put this intervention into of the four?
For the first we will go with the physiological arousal, of course. Then telling him the importance of doing exercises or the importance of checking the diabetes level regularly, how it may, what complications he can come because of that, and how it is related to his body pain and his tiredness.
Okay, so this would be your for emotional state.
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Okay.
Then
Go ahead.
verbally will be giving him more support, or we're telling him to what to do, and because of the body pain or the tiredness, he'll be not able to wake up early in the morning. So all this will be a factor for him, thinking that I'm not able to. He may be more down, or negative thoughts will be there in him. So giving him a verbal support and a verbal confidence in that.
Okay, I'll build a confidence. Okay.
Then asking him telling him about the exercises, and how to deal with the exercises, the timings, how initially he can start with the basic exercises, and later how he can progress like that.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, that's from the Princess group. Is there any other group who would like to add in points to that?
So we
Yeah,
can give
Kajal.
a group therapy so that he will
Okay.
be motivated, like to do exercises.
Okay, group therapy, fine, that's a great idea. But then which of the 4 components are you targeting with the group therapy? Is it a mastery experience or a vicarious experience or a verbal persuasion or the emotional state? Which one?
So it will be the master's experience.
Okay, that's what you think. Yeah. Vipinath sir, sir, you have anything to tell about that?
Yeah, I think if we happen to meet a person who is already practicing and is successfully controlling his diabetes and free from pain, that would be vicarious.
Vicarious experience, right? And
Yeah.
Kajal, you were right in the exercise. It would belong more to vicarious experience, right? Because when you're in a group, you see other people doing, right? So you might get to see some person who is similar to you, they are doing it, and you might feel that, okay, I can also do this kind of thing.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Others you can just come in. You can just use. Any more inputs?
So, one thing is like we can educate about the complications of diabetes and
Okay.
make him understand and
Okay.
motivate him to get into those kinds of complications.
Okay. Fine. Okay. Right. Okay. That's great. So of the answers which have come, all right, even others would have come out with some ideas. So we'll just try to compile it and I'll just give the final words about it. Regarding Prince's thing, right, it's more of you're telling them what is to be done. Right. So your thing was more, although you said it is in other things, most of it was under a verbal persuasion we're trying to do. Okay. All right. And that was about it. And of course, group exercise would have been a slightly good idea for one particular thing that is experience. It might be helping us even for master experience. It might help. So I'll also put my viewpoints. Okay, right. I'm not telling that whatever you've told is right or wrong, right? Of course, all these are ideas, and so I'll just put in. Right. So mastery experience is basically you need to try and make him believe that he is capable of doing exercise. Okay, that's what is his personal experience. So when we tell experience, he should actually be doing the exercise. Okay, right? So when we give exercise, the most important thing we need to think is number one is you need to give things which are very easy for him to achieve at the first point, right? So he's having a set of symptoms and then he doesn't exercise at all. So for him to start with 1 day in a week, all right, if you can just make it in the coming week, that would be great. Right? Rather, a person who is already going for 2 days or 3 days, but not to that intensity, you can still make it slightly harder, but then it should be easier for them, right? And once they do it, right, you should find out what benefits can come immediately. All right. So on 2 or 3 days, on the first day when he goes for walking, he's more likely to have DOMS and other things. So his physiological and emotional state would be slightly more. So you need to keep him educated about it, but you need to see to that he is not stopping on the second day or third day, because then his experience would have been very negative from an emotional perspective. So he should have crossed that and he should have gone to some level and then some change immediately. For example, daily he's monitoring his sugar level. So if he can walk on some days, and if he doesn't walk on some days, and if he's monitoring his blood sugar level, he might think that, okay, when I'm exercising, the sugar levels are coming down. Okay, right? So we always need to connect that, what he's putting in and what he's getting out, and he needs to exercise. That's what we mean by making him comfortable with the exercise to begin with. And then we need to slowly try and progress it according to the level. So everyone, we will not give the same exercise, but a slightly different exercise. And once they are comfortable, yes, I can do that. And this is helping me. Once they get it, right, their self-efficacy for taking up the larger exercise and continuing might increase. The second one is, if he has previously attempted it, the prior successful performances can be reminded. This is what I think Vipinath sir told on the first day when we were trying to do it. And the second one is encourage participants to observe others. Group therapy, Kajal had come out with a wonderful idea, right? So that if they are doing it, they are more likely to see others, right? So instead of group therapy, it could be that instead of them walking alone in the morning, they can walk in a park. So when you walk in a park, what happens is on a daily basis, you start seeing faces. And if you are slightly communicative, after some few days or a few weeks, what you might pick up is you might pick up a group of friends and who might also be having who might be in similar age group, and they might be trying to do it, and they might have more positive experiences to share with them, right? And then that can actually work out well rather than them exercising alone. So that's vicarious experiences. And verbal persuasion is basically we need to educate them, and as you all rightly told that we need to educate them about the benefits of exercise, how it is going to come and things like that. And more importantly, the education should be in terms of support and encouragement. Okay, right? So when they are trying to attempt it, you may need to be there and you need to tell that it is possible that they can still bring down the sugar levels more and more, and the family members and others can, physiotherapist and others can also be brought in to persuade. So most important is we may need to identify who is the significant others, who if they tell, they take it more as an encouragement, because when some family members tell, it might not really, they might not feel okay, right? Every time they tell like this just to make us do, it might be like that. Okay, right? So you need to identify and then go ahead. And lastly, when they are starting their exercise program and when they are doing it, it's necessary that we can monitor the emotional states like pain or fear they get, or some discomforts they start having, and we can sit down and discuss with them how they can reduce it, right? And we can also provide frequent rest periods so they are not too much stressed out of because of the problem, and they are coming down, working till that time that they start coming to positive emotional states. And we all know that physical exercise per se, when we do it, right after some time, we are bound to find hormones which will positively influence the stress and other things. Right? So we may need to titrate the things so that they can overcome the negative emotional states they might be there in, right? So all these things would basically help in improving their self-efficacy. That is a belief in themselves that they would be able to continue doing the exercise. It's not about relieving the pain, which bodily pain which they are complaining of, but they would feel that, okay, I can participate in exercise program. And more importantly, when we are talking in terms of behavior, it might not be just with the starting of it. They might get into action stage when we put in all these things, but more importantly, they should not fall back. So that also we need to see, and targeting these things, these kind of things would help them. So all these smaller things which we have discussed today, right? All these components, we call that as behavior change therapy, right? Or behavior change techniques. Okay, these are called as behavior change techniques. And in the next month, when we are coming back to this behavior change, we will be looking into what are the different techniques which are there, and which ones can be used for which constraints. Right? So this is one way of trying to read the theory, understand it, and trying to utilize it and incorporating it into our practice. Okay, so we will end here. That's the end of today's point. Thank you. And if you have any questions, you can please ask me. If you have any viewpoints, you can just let me know, and then we can break. Thank you.
No, sir, I would like to add one point in this.
Yeah, Dharmita.
Sir, along with that exercise therapy, like a group therapy, we can also go for that interactive session with patients in once in a week or twice in a week. So along with that exercise, we can also able to find out the fear of the patient and how the patient is comfortable with the group therapy and what are the positive and negative points which we are lacking and we are going good, so we can consider that thing also.
Okay, so I see a budding behavioral therapist coming out of you. That's great. That's a really, really wonderful idea. Right, I think we need to start doing it not only with our diabetic patients, but also with all the other patients who are striving hard for doing all the exercises for a very long number of days. Okay, right, to keep them motivated, to support them. In reality, I just saw this because I was trying to give behavior change treatment to some of the patients with stroke, right? And
Yes,
it was really, really very hard. And there is a center in Bangalore where so many members sit next to each other and then they keep doing the exercise. And I saw that it was very easy for each one to do all the exercises. They are spending nearly 3 to 4 hours doing exercises without much of difficulty. But when I tried going to the home and trying to motivate them, it was really, really too hard. So it's not only that they see others doing the exercise, but also it's very important that they share their experiences, they collect the experiences from the others, and then get it. That's a great idea.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone else? Okay. Right. So fine. Thank you all for joining in this particular session of behavior change. We'll be continuing with the final few parts in the next month. Okay, the third week of the next month. Now I'll stop the session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.